Hello Capricorn, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is your weekly tarot forecast for the week of August 1st through August 7th. We are going to be finding out what the messages are for you. What is it that you need to know for this coming week? There is an extended version of this reading. If you want to check that out, all of the information is down in the description box of this video. Please do like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And if this reading resonates with you, please let me know in the comments and do consider becoming a member of this channel. All right, we're going to jump right into it for Capricorn for the week of August 1st through August 7th. What is it that Capricorn needs to know? Let's find out. You've got to excuse me today. I have a little bit of a tickle in my throat, so my voice is a little scratchy this morning. Okay, let's do this. So we've got the Moon card. And we've got some water, some fire, some more water. And there comes Capricorn's Devil card. This card rules the sign of Capricorn, and this is an Earth card. You're an Earth sign. I think this is really indicative of where you are right now in your thinking and in your life and in your, just in terms of your path. I think this is really representing you and your, maybe your preoccupation with your work. Okay, so if this is, it could be career related, though we see a lot of water here too. So, and not so much in terms of what you're doing or why you're doing it or the success or failures that you might be experiencing with your career or your employment. I think this is more about your approach to that work or how you feel about that work, or just kind of the deeper purpose or signification of that work that you're doing. But I see that you're in a very motivated spot right now, mentally, and in terms of your overall energy. I feel like you're very ambitious, you're very hardworking, and you really have this idea of where you're going, and you want to stick to that path, and you seem like you're just very almost preoccupied, almost obsessed with this work that you're doing, where it's constantly on your mind. I think it's a really big deal for you is how you are approaching this work that you do and kind of where it's going. And I think you're really working hard at it. That's what I get from that card there. And I wanted to bring that up first because that is the card that rules Capricorn. It's the Devil card. It's this energy that is just very much focused on that physical work, on the actual doing of these things, okay? But we're going to look at some of these water cards to find out kind of what is going on in relation to that work that you do. Okay, now the first card that we drew was the Moon card. So I think the Moon card means a couple of things in this situation. I think it means, first of all, that you have this rather fantastic idea of what your life is or what it should be or what you want. I think it's kind of this very dreamy fantasy that you see, especially with the Devil card here showing that you're very attached to this idea. You're very attached to what you feel your life should be or where you should be going or what you should be doing. And so I feel like it's a little bit in your imagination, you have this picture of the way things should be, and the reality might not be living up exactly to the picture that you have in your head, right? So this could be that you have this fantasy idea, you have this ideal, you have this picture in your imagination of the way things should be, but the reality might not exactly match up with that. This could also be a situation where there is some kind of deception going on in your life right now. Like maybe there's some situation where your thoughts and ideas, your picture of reality is not matching up with someone else's picture of reality. And so there could be a little bit of conflict there not because there's, outright lying or deception going on, but it's just that you see the world one way, this other person sees the world a different way or has a different idea, a different ideal. And so it's not quite matching up. There's some conflict there. So I think this is really talking about that underlying belief, that underlying structure of reality that each of us build up, right? And that's just what we do. That's why the universe is unique to every one of us. But I think your world and this other person's world don't quite line up. And I think that needs to be explored a little bit to find out if there's really that incompatibility there, or if there is some overlap, or if there's a way that, you know, that could be just kind of sorted out and blended together and become more harmonious. Now, the reason why I say that is because we have the Six of Cups here as how the situation is going to progress for you this week. So I feel like, I'm going to jump back a little bit. I feel like towards the beginning of the week, or maybe last week, you had this kind of restless, very eager, very kind of just anxious and hectic energy about you. And I feel like that is still kind of going on. I think you still feel this anxiety, a little bit of nervousness, a little bit fidgety about the situation. And I think it really is about your work and your commitment and your preoccupation with your work and with what you're doing, in terms of where all of your energy is focused. And I think your energy is really focused on doing this work that is very significant for you. And it's very meaningful for you. It kind of is an expression of who you are. You know, with the Capricorn, with this devil energy, I feel like this is very significant and represents kind of who you are. And so any kind of a challenge to that, any kind of challenge to that reality, or any challenge to that picture that you have, that belief that you have, this image that you have, is going to be met with a little bit of friction and conflict. So I think that is kind of where this restless, hectic energy is coming from, is that there is this, again, this card kind of is deception, kind of is this dreamy fantasy idea. So I think that, again, this is just representing the way you see the situation versus either the reality of the situation in a more objective way, or how another person in your life sees this situation. And I'm leaning towards it being this other person in your life, because we do have the Knight of Swords representing the other, and I know I didn't talk about the Six of Cups, but I will. In terms of the other person, though, we have the Knight of Swords. And so I think that this really is talking about this communication that's going on between you and this other person that is starting to explore the nature of this reality, of this kind of life situation, of this ideal, this kind of you know, this fantasy, or this daydream, or this overall dream that we have for life, that we're now starting to realize that maybe not everybody else shares. And so it really is going to involve this conversation, this communication with these other people in your life, to see if they really are on the same page as you, if they want the same things as you, if they're going to just be in harmony or sympathy with what it is that you're doing with all of your Capricorn energy. And again, I really feel like this is central to this reading, even though the card is kind of off to the side here, but this is representing you, your ego, your being, where you are in your headspace. And I think it's really this focus on the physical work. It's focusing on this idea that you have of yourself and who you are and what you're about and what your purpose is. And I think you're really, really focused on that. And again, it's kind of not matching up with the same ideas that other people have. And so it's really going to require some conversation, some really honest conversation to kind of sort out where everybody is in life right now. Now, the Six of Cups. I think this is really foretelling about the development of this situation. I think it's going to really result in some harmony. I think doing this communication and exploring this kind of fantasy world and kind of the dreams that we have for our life, I think exploring that and communicating that with our loved ones, or whoever this person is in your life right now, that is going to be receiving this communication and involved in this with you, I think it's really going to bring a sense of well-being, of wholeness, of happiness, of calm and peace. I think, you know, the situation could turn into a disaster. It could be an argument. It could be just complete disharmony. But with the Six of Cups, I see that this is going a different way. I see that the result of this, or kind of the energy that's going to grow from this situation, is one of happiness and health and harmony and well-being and love and a calm balance, almost a relief that things are actually a lot better than you thought they were, or that the prospect for the future is a lot better. It's a very optimistic card. So I really think that this is key, and this should be giving you a little bit of reassurance that exploring this situation with this Knight of Swords is going to turn out okay, and it's going to be a relief. It's going to be a calm and an enlightening and a very kind of harmonious situation that's going to develop out of all of this energy. That being said, there is the Hanged Man in the immediate future, and I think this is representing a little bit of a sacrifice. Whether this is a sacrifice on your part or on someone else's part, I think is yet to be determined. I think it's probably going to be a compromise. It's probably going to be a sacrifice all around. So I really think that this is kind of the result of all this, or this is the progression, the development of this situation. It's going to be harmonious. It's going to be a relief. It's going to be peaceful, and it's going to be happy and calm. And there's going to have to be some compromise going into the future. I think that's kind of the resolution of this conversation, of this exploration of these, kind of dreams and fantasies and the imagination and where we see ourselves now, where we see ourselves in the future, and just kind of the nature of our reality. All of that exploration may entail a little bit of sacrifice in order to move things forward. So keep that in mind. I think that is coming in the future, and towards the end of the week, I think, is when some of this might develop a little bit more intensely. Also, as an underlying card, we have the 10 of Cups. Now, the 10 of Cups, I think, is kind of your emotional exhaustion with this situation. I think that, you've had this kind of restless, fidgety, kind of frantic nervousness going on. And I think a lot of that is also because you're just kind of exhausted emotionally. I think maybe from worrying about this, or from trying to communicate this, but doing it in a way that is just emotionally draining, or maybe your interactions with this other person in your life is just starting to really take its toll on you emotionally. But I think this is coming to a head now this week, I think, where your emotions are drained and you've just kind of had enough of this being upset, right? So it's time for that discussion. It's time for that really honest kind of exploration of all of these energies. In terms of your future and maybe your hopes or your fears for the future, I think you really want to be successful. You really want to be safe and secure and productive in life. I don't see you as someone who is just going to make all the sacrifices and then just give up on your goals and dreams, give up on your hard work and your plans for the future. I think you're going to always work hard. You're always going to ensure that you are successful, that you have something built for yourself, that you are responsible for your own health, your own wealth, and your own future. I think this card is really about you taking care of yourself and being self-sufficient and self-reliant. No matter what happens in the situation, I think you're always going to be okay because you have the skills, the abilities, and you have the power and the endurance and the patience to really work hard and get things done. And, another Earth card to go with the Devil card, which is another Earth card. And this just shows that you really are taking care of yourself. You really can. You can be successful on your own, and you know that, and that's not really a worry. But you always, in any situation, I think that is perhaps one of the foremost concerns for you is, am I going to be able to take care of myself, and am I going to be able to be self-sufficient and rely primarily on myself and not really need anything from anyone. I think that's part of the idea, though. We are all interconnected. We all do rely on everything else. I think we need to have that harmonious relationship with the universe around us, with the people around us, with everything around us in nature and in our lives. And I think everything is connected. on an abstract level, but on a practical, day-to-day, mundane sense, you take care of you and you make sure that you are safe and secure and you have your own success. I think that's very important to you, especially being a Capricorn. Now, as the final outcome, the more long-term, the more long-distance projection, is the Lover's card. And I think that's interesting, and that's also what leads me to believe that all this conversation and all of this kind of exploration of the dreams and fantasies and just where we see ourselves in the present and in the future, I think is really going to be, it really involves this person that's very close to you, a very intimate partner. And I think that with the sacrifices and with your kind of relief and harmony and the release of that emotional tension that we see with the Ten of Cups, and through this communication and all of these things are really pointing towards this relationship really being stable and secure and strong, a strong connection that you have with this person. So I don't see that really going anywhere. But I think ultimately, this card is saying that you have to decide what is best for you. You have to choose the path that is the right path for you. Okay, so it's not necessarily staying in this relationship and making all of the sacrifices and giving up on your dreams. It could go that way if you choose, but you have to choose what is right for you, and no one can make that decision for you. No one can tell you what to do. You can take all of this information and all of the other factors, the other variables in your life, and how the energy progresses during this coming week and into the next week, and the results of all of these conversations and all of this contemplation and exploration that you're doing. But ultimately, you have to choose what is right for you. You have to choose the path that is going to be the most in tune with your spiritual purpose, let's say, with your true divine will, and just what is right for you. What is the appropriate path for you, regardless of what you may think is right or what other people may tell you is right or what society says you should be doing. No, you have to choose what is the most meaningful, the most appropriate, productive, healthy, happy path for you. Okay. Capricorn, I know this was kind of a heavy message, but I think there is a lot for you to work with here, and I hope this resonates with you. Please leave me some comments and let me know what you think and how you feel about all of this. This was your weekly tarot forecast for August 1st through August 7th. There is an extended version of this reading. If you want to stick around, you can become a member to this channel, and all the information is down in the description box. I thank you so much for watching.